So our next exercise is based around releasing off the other deep fascial area of the body, which is the gluteal area. The feet are densely populated with fascia, and in extreme situations the fascia gets quite tense and causes a lot of pain through plantar fasciitis and so forth, certain conditions. But this is where we can work in the other region of the body, in the gluteals, to help the fascial area through that region have a lot more release as well. So we're going to have Zach on the balls here. You might notice the balls under there, in the back of Zach's pelvis. Have them in a place where they're nice and deeply in the gluteal muscles. Zach's going to have his feet together and his knees together as a starting point before we drop the knee away to the side, such as this. So Zach's going to put a majority of the weight here on his left buttock and do a simple movement now, which involves a bit of a circular or a figure of 8 movement. So we're just going to encourage Zach to do that now with his pelvis. So it's a matter of just moving around and feeling a little bit of movement going on there as you work with the pelvis. Good. And often in case it's a little bit uncomfortable. I don't want you to go over the top with the discomfort, of course, but you will often find that there's some deep muscles around the hip joint which quite simply hold a lot of tension in an attempt to stabilise the pelvis and the spine, and that's not required. There's a whole plethora of other muscles that we can use instead. Sometimes our last resort when we lack stability through the pelvis and through the hips is to actually hold on with these deep gluteals, and it has quite a knock-on effect through the body. So for Zach, he's finding these little points there. You're feeling a few sore points? Great. So this is a situation for yourself. You might find that you want to really release off these, if you like, trigger points from a massage perspective, and getting the muscles to respond to this. Great. So once Zach's found the best spot, we're going to do simply some slides along the floor. So that involves folding the leg into here and then simply stretching the leg in and out like this. So we do roughly 10 of those. It's a good round number to work with. So the weight, you'll notice, is gently poured over onto that side of the pelvis, and it's getting some good introduction of some movement. Great. We also add this idea of having the leg nice and straight, and we have the leg a little lifted, and we're going to do little circles here with the leg. That's often quite a good one to get into some deep muscles and buttocks as well. Good. So we just do 5 circles each direction with this next exercise, massaging on the balls. Great. So it's a nice simple little series, but it helps to just target the crucial areas for the back of the pelvis and allow the fascial area through this idea of release. Included in our flexibility, under our flexibility banner, is the idea of release, working on the muscles lengthening out. So here our little test. This is the interesting thing to see how the results of this movement is for Zach as we continue. So just come off the balls there for me, Zach. I'll take them for you. Good. And we first of all just do a few little, ask a few mini questions of how that actually feels for Zach through the back of the pelvis. How does it feel?
It feels like I've sunk down on this side, it's released, and this side feels like it's tighter and more lifted off the mat.
Great. So we're having a beautiful impact here on Zach's flexibility in a very local sense around the hip joint. And it feels like a lot more release. The coverage of the pelvis on the floor is a lot heavier and a lot wider on that left side that we just massaged. So, wonderful feeling, of course, but the key thing and the functional thing for us when we're talking about flexibility is ensuring that we have also a good functional outcome. So we're going to stretch Zach's legs along the bench just now. And he's going to do a lovely high kick towards the ceiling with his left leg. So this will give us a good opportunity to get a feel for how far Zach is comfortable to go. So we're just feeling a little bit of resistance around about that point. We can probably go a little further, but it's pretty springy at that point. Okay, so that's a bit of a rough range of how Zach's hamstrings are feeling today based around this massage. And then we try the same thing on the other side. Good. Now, the video helps us to observe that there's quite a difference there. Okay. Now, the sensation is quite clear to Zach. Okay. How would you describe the difference, Zach?
The other one was just much freer coming up. I had greater feeling of range and ease on the left side. On the right side, immediately felt tight and restricted.
Yep. Great. So this is a very common outcome. This is why we love to do these exercises, because it's always creating great results for our clients. Simple massage techniques that aren't coming up necessarily under the header of massage, but working on our specifics of proprioception and release to ensure that our muscles are working well in a team, and therefore allowing the overall flexibility of the body to increase. Great, thank you. Thanks once again, Zach. Good.